Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with All Angles. Now, the late IFP President Emeritus, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, will be laid to rest on Saturday. Buthelezi died last week at the age of 95. The traditional Prime Minister of the AmaZulu nation has been hailed as a custodian of Zulu culture and tradition. For the latest, we're joined by eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge now. And Sipa, I just wonder if you can just give us an update in terms of how preparations are going. What is the royal family saying about Saturday's preparations?
Well, I guess the perfectly placed person to answer that question will be Princess Siphamandla Buthelezi, who is the daughter of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. She's the one who's going to talk to us about those preparations. But we all know that the late traditional Prime Minister to the Zulu monarch and nation has been granted special official Category 1 funeral. So I guess the funeral service will be probably in 4 parts. There will be the family part, the Buthelezi clan, the religious aspect of it, because Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was a very religious man, devoted. Then there will be the official program that will be led, or rather that will be led by the government. But let me not waste too much time. Let me just throw to Princess Siphamandla Buthelezi. Mtwana, thank you very much for your time. Once again, condolences. Let's talk about how have you been holding up so far.
Okay. We feel very humbled by the way you are taking everything to see what is going on about your father. I know how close he was to you and all the other reporters, journalists. The preparations are going well. As we had a memorial service yesterday, which was organized by the IFP, as he was the founder of the IFP. But we are looking forward to the funeral, which, as Mr. Goge has explained, will be catered by the state president, Category 1. We don't know about the preparation so far, even about the accreditation. We're still waiting to hear from the officials from National Parliament and with the help of the KZN officials.
Let's talk about how the Buthelezi family will do things. Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi was Inkosi of the Buthelezi clan. I know there are certain things that each and every family will have imkhuba namasiko akhona. In terms of that, izobekwa kanjani inkosi yakwa Buthelezi following the traditional practices and customs of the Buthelezi family and clan?
Well, it will sound to other people it will be a bit strange. He was the Inkosi of the Buthelezi, but really a very staunch Christian. Most of the things we don't know, we haven't done anything which is like amasiko, ini. Sometimes when kumbula matuna, then the unveiling ceremony is like there's something being done. And like here at home, we've had many funerals. 5 of my siblings. And my firstborn, who was doing a 3rd-year degree, died in a car accident. My mother passed on the way. There was nothing strange. Everything just go according to Christianity. For instance, he really spoke to his shepherd, Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, who used to visit him in the hospital. And even on his birthday, we all went down. I had to cancel. I was supposed to go and speak at Ngotu to celebrate Women's Month, but we had to meet all of us, grandchildren and us, at the hospital on his birthday, and he was very happy. And the Archbishop came again. He has visited him, I'm sure, 3rd times coming from Cape Town and flying back. Then he asked him what would he like to be done when he passed on. Well, in fact, Mr. Goge, it was very difficult when you explained about your funeral, but he did choose verses and some songs that he wanted to be sung, and some verses which must be read. So far we just know what we are used to, like here at home. Every night when we've got dinner, but most of the time I'm away because of my tight schedule as a member of the KZN legislature. But each time when I'm here, we eat dinner at night and then we make a prayer. You'll pray calling a president of the country, the name, president of the IFP, Inkosi, all the people praying for South Africa as a whole, about economy. He was very concerned. I remember 2 years ago, he gave us big Bibles which are supposed to be in the museum, as far as I think, because I've never seen such big sizes. I said, no, I don't want that when I die, you fight over my Bibles. And then he wrote the Bibles. He gave me, he gave my brother and my sister, 3 of us. So there is nothing much, Mr. Goge, except that we are like yesterday, as you saw at the memorial service, they came, they wanted to just to be seen that they are also there singing, accompanying him. But there are no rituals which we know at home, because nothing was done. He was a lay minister, ordained lay minister. In church, he will be giving people the communion until at his age, and when the work was too much, he started saying no, he wants to slow down. But Easter, you will find him from Thursday until Easter Monday. He will be sitting down, washing the feet of the people who have come to worship for Easter, doing everything as Christian. There is nothing much that I can say. But now my son tells me that he is going to buy some cement and other things to prepare where he will be buried. That's why we couldn't get hold of him. I'm with a grandson. Uxolani Melisizwe next to me is the son of my late son, who died in a car accident in 2001. He was doing a 3rd-year law degree.
You mentioned the tragedy that Umntwana kaPhindangene had suffered. I mean, he has lost his children. Despite all of that, he emerged very strong, and he came across someone who understood that, his belief, his devotion kept him going. I remember when I interviewed him after he lost some of his children, he used to say, such is life, we can only move on. Talk to us about how difficult was that period when you lost your, basically, siblings and the grandchildren of Umntwana.
Hey, Mr. Goge and the viewers, I just can't explain the pain until I had a feeling of it when I lost my own son. Whereas my parents really suffered, losing 5 children. I remember my brother Nelson Zulu was the first one to pass on. My sister was also sick but coping, but the death of my brother made her worse. So after 3 months, my sister also followed. In the space of 3 months, we had another funeral. Umandis, who's the mother of Uzamo Buthelezi, who has been a nursing father all these years, especially during COVID. Uzamo Buthelezi is the one who was nursing father. And as you know, Mr. Goge, he used to act like a prophet, he'll just say a thing or do a thing, and then we'll see afterwards. He went for a checkup. He wanted to check COVID in Pangin. But before he went for a checkup, he went to where they are selling the equipment for protective clothes. He bought him a suit, or everything, a mask, everything, before going for a test. After testing, he discovered he's positive, and those clothes were used by Zamo Buthelezi, the grandchild who was nursing him. He was never admitted for COVID, but I think 3 times he had COVID. I also had COVID twice, because I'm always amongst people. I went to Mtuba. It was an inauguration of the new leadership of Mtuba. When I came back, he was very serious. No, you cannot attend the NEC meeting, which we meet every Monday. You must go for a test first. I had to obey him. But when my other sister died in a car accident, it was the day we went for the funeral of Honorable CJ Mthethwa. I went with my father to eNCA because we were always together from childhood. You can see all the pictures. I was always with him. Even when the schools are closed, we've got youth camps and other things. So we returned from eNCA funeral. We're sitting in this dining hall, just revising. Hey, the truth which were revealed there. The President Jacob Zuma was also telling lots of things which we didn't know, admitting that they were working together, sending some people to exile, and Uhlonishwa Mthethwa was the right hand of Umntwana. He would come any time in the morning, even Umntwana when he's still resting. We put him in one of the lounge. We prepare rooibos tea. I know I stayed many years at Umsinga, in my 70s. So I'll prepare everything. By the time father comes to see Mthethwa, Reverend CJ already has him serving. Then after 3 months, Nelson Zulu passed on, Umandisi followed. And then the day we from seeing or revising, we parted after midnight, after discussing about how was the funeral at Msinga. And then when I'm sleeping, I get in calls. You know, our African people, this thing of hiding, also Mr. Goge sometimes really haunt you. I said, hi, how? I'm from home. I was at home until after midnight, and then I went down to sleep at Ulundi. Hi, how you say how? And then another call. Hey, they are coloreds. It looks as if they are comrades. Maybe they are from Msinga funeral. There's an accident near Melmot before we reach Melmot where Amatraka Pagakon. They kept on phoning, and then my son said, hey, man, let's get up, let's go and see who are those people, because it means it's one of our comrades. I just put on a skirt on top of the pajamas. We went there with my son. My son was driving. When we arrived at that cave where the trucks usually park, I saw our former leader, of course I'm safe. And then I used to work very close with her. That's why I'm touched. I'm sorry, Mr. Goge. I was trying to be strong. But if I think of it, I'm the one who nominated her name at the monthly conference to be national chairperson. So I saw Mom Zanele Magwaza Msile and many people, and I heard Zanele, Ubana say Chelu Pumzile, Nkulunkulu Bamchelele, and then I'm surprised how. Why should they fight if they are comrades? Yeah. Because I'm told they are comrades who look like coloreds. My sister was too light. He used to do because she stayed for a long time in America, so she was like an American. But she was working in father's office, doing his typing all the time. And then when I arrived, they were trying to push me away, and then I remember that they said, I clapped Zanele Makwaza, because, you know, sometimes when we are confused, we end up doing things which when we are told we are ashamed of. And then I went to go to that car, which was Amawila Pege Zulu, upside down. I not realizing that it was my sister's car, and she was still there. And she was with her partner who was from DRC. They have been together for a long time, so they were staying together here. So my sister followed. And then later on, another funeral, we ended up having 5 siblings who died. And then the 6th one is my son who died in a car accident. So three died in a car accident. It's Letu Kolo, the mother of Toya Buthelezi. It's my son who died in a car accident. It's Mapu Sniwa Wonke, who died at the age of 9. My mother, you know, when we are old, the eldest, we are given all the duties. This house was built in 78. We were all staying up there. And then I was given a lot of duties. You'll put dishes in a big, but they know, these ladies, you put dishes, you sit under the tree, you put newspapers, you wash dishes, you put them in newspapers to dry. We all started there, went to the river. There's a river where we used to go and fish water. I know how uksenga and uksenga lemlonyen. So I remained. My mother took all the children and went to Twasane mission, Catholic mission, where we were schooling, just to visit them and come back with some vegetables. And then when we realized how, now it's night, it's at night, I'm with my father and my granny at home. We don't know what's going on. And father was anxious. You know, he was like a prophet. He just disappeared, decided to walk. Yeah. Tight security, on the way you'll meet Umlungo who's trying to stop him. Please show me the direction to Chief Buthelezi's residence. Saying, oh, we are going to Chief Buthelezi's residence. Yes. What's wrong? Hey, his family had an accident. The white man doesn't know, think that he's talking to the really Chief Buthelezi. You want to go to his house. That's how they met. He took him. He came back. Oh, even my grandmother was also like father. He packed milk, napkins for Puma Peshe, who was 2 years, also there. I said, Kokozi, manje wa makeba simpeka, Aisha ngikha, danami, angambe jisiyobona what is happening. Now I am just by myself at home, we didn't have SAPS, whatever at home. So only to find that when the accident happened, they scattered. My sister was 9 years in the car, parked on her stomach, and then the insides went outside. Yeah. So father came and told me, he was like going to die, kissing me, saying goodbye to me. I said, why? I also want to go. We ended up going to the hospital in Konjeni. My mother spent more than 6 months not knowing that we lost my sister there.
Sorry about that. I know it devastated your father, but let's come back. Let's talk about your father as a father to you. Many people, they know him as a leader, founder of the IFP. I know him to have been a strict disciplinarian, someone who was very sharp. He had a sense of humor, but he was a shrewd politician who will switch just like that. Your fond memories, very briefly.
Hey, Mr. Goge. I really don't know where to start, but I'll try to be brief.
Very brief.
He was my everything, my pillar of strength, my friend, I don't know, my mentor. From childhood, I was, you know, when you are a firstborn, you are a favorite. Even when as time goes on, my mother's favorite was the last born.
Yes.
So I was doing most of the things as I was revealing to Abantwana, all the things I remember, even though Queen Majali, the first wife of Mangosuthu Buthelezi, everything, and the funeral. But here at home, people know him as maybe a person who no lag, and sometimes they saying no lag, but no. I do is Mr. Goge. Oh, yeah, I am the type like him who can't pretend. Skulegans might be shy. He really used the shambok. Where were you as the elders when the children? I remember you know Mngoni. Kunema families saswam Mpume Mngoni, kwaBiyela ubaba uBiyela, kwaDlamini eMaswazini. Those are the messages sasihamba. They went for a party, bolethu xolo mama kaDoya delays until late. Umntwana was furious, asking me where are the children. Ngicine beye kwaMngoni. I sahamba balandwa. We will sleep on the floor, ubaba uDlamini swashona ngibambe ishambo kuyo ngisho sekuphenqeka isketi, he doesn't care. But I really appreciate because he made me a strong woman. And there's no working at Angwazi. Being the eldest to polish tape is Sakuba sunbeam, they know with paraffin, not this handy or self-shine. Yeah. So he had so much love. I used to say, Mr. Goge, I wish if God can give me a husband, if I can get a husband like him. But unfortunately, it was not to be. Because the way he had love. He loved my mother from a girlfriend, but he was still buying flowers. If he comes home, the flowers will see in the kitchen. We also benefited. Mother's Day song is gifts, Women's Month, birthdays. He had so much love. And then we would sit and sing. Even when Umntwana Goge was still alive, we used to sing at the background. Recordings. Professor Kabim Goma will come to record my grandmother. This home was not yet erected. We're all staying there. Unfortunately, the really house of my youngest brother, who was the last one to die, Puma Peshe. He says Puma Peshe because they went abroad. When mother returns, he delivered. It means why Habena is sweet on Puma Peshe. Yeah. So, he was such a sweet person. I just don't know how to describe. I've never seen a man like him who had so much love.
I wanted to talk about how he did not impose on his children which career paths to take. He supported you politically. You are a politician in your own right. You have been within the ranks of the IFP, Youth Brigade, Women's Brigade, and the NEC. Your brothers and other siblings are doing their own stuff. Many people were saying you were going to take over from him politically.
From childhood, Mr. Goge, as I'm saying, he was a free person, really, not forcing us. Even about love affairs. When he saw that we reached the stage of adolescence, he sat down with us, said, Mantabami, I don't want you to push yourself to rich men, running for people with positions. I'm a chief, I'm a course. If you love a person, you know, if you love him, it's okay. And if I don't want you to say, hey, inkomo sunelu babi inkomo, inkomo zami na, so he was free even about our careers. He let us free, as my brother did mention sometimes to another audience, one of the delegation, that he was asking Latoya, most of them, even this one. Yes. 3 of them until they finish matric. Man, you say UK is a 10 law. I think, what are you intending to do? Latoya singing. What? He couldn't understand really. You can say we are starting to be a musician or artist. But when Latoya surprised all of us, we're all proud of him, of her. And then I felt so sorry sometimes. I remember when I first watched her show, she is also president. Okay. She arrived last night. No, she arrived during the memorial service. When I saw the first performance in Durban, I really cried, thinking of my sister. If my sister was still alive, I wonder what she was going to say. Mm-hmm. Now she's staying in UK. She didn't force us. It was just up to us to decide. As my brother said, he was interested in business. I had a passion for politics from childhood. We were attending my youth camps, and all that. And then I was a councillor for 5 years. The local executive councillor, the municipality, and then I finished the term. I was the executive councillor at the Zulu district. Now I'm in the legislature.
Okay. I wanted to pause and reflect a bit. You know, your father was a very shrewd politician. And I'll put it to you, he knows himself too. He used to say, Mr. Goge, people say I'm controversial. Pre-1994 dispensation, after 1994, his legacy will remain a subject of history. He was not worried about it. He said it himself. But many people have got different opinions about your father. They have said some of the things that he was on the other side of history, on the wrong side of history. As a family, what's your reaction on his legacy?
Hey, Mr. Goge and the viewers, it's just not enough. I don't know how can I describe the way I wish his legacy was going to be. But I can't, because really he has done everything for us. He started from scratch. I remember there were only trees, bushes, but it was as if he was saying, and then some were saying, but when they check about water and other problems, discovered no, Ulund is the best, but he managed to I still salute him. He has been a strong man. In spite of all the hatred, and especially during his illness while he was in hospital, Mr. Goge, I can't forget to see how people bangamzondi umuntu kazi bamzondi ngisho esegula kuthi useshonile Mr. Goge, he has died, whereas my father was still alive. I was visiting him many times. Maybe I'm from the legislature. I'll make sure I buy for his children. We just thank God about bodyguards, aids. I always cherish them being bars. So this card, I used to buy them bonus bedlela. Who told you to feel low, and then how feel a and he has never been admitted a pay. But we could see when friends when there are problems, it's when you can see they're really friends. How can you fight if a person has died? Yeah. Said, they are preparing for funeral. He has passed on a long time. Like Mandela, which was not true. Even President Mandela, Mr. Goge.
Two things troubled him. I know this because he told me. Slow pace of reconciliation between the IFP and the ANC, and the ongoing squabbles in the Zulu royal family.
True. Those are two things which were really, really troubling him. Because for many years, about 3 aside, Reverend CJ 3 aside, 6 aside, we are born as this thing captured. I remember when he even went abroad with the 16th delegation.
Sure.
For Reverend Zodwe, also amongst those who went to organize OR Tambo. But really, but what is strange, we used to discuss with him. Sometimes we will sit together in the kitchen until about 3 o'clock in the morning. As a sugumuma, good night, pizza, my nickname, say so lala, as Mvalilisa started discussing both of us about these things which he is worried about. The reconciliation between IFP and ANC. The problems in the royal family, which is affecting the whole Zulu nation at the end. Those were the two things which were really, really affecting him. He said, I'll die at peace if this reconciliation can be solved, but it was not to be. And what I can really thank the ANC nationally, they are completely different from those who are in the KZN. Completely different. The problem is here with us. About Mzala region, Ngumalu wrote a book saying father was signing with a blood. His pen was full of blood. Yeah. He has never, not even once advised people to go and kill people. And people are defending themselves. More than 20 leaders of us in the IFP passed on. ababengeke bayibulala indodana Mr. Goge.
Okay.
Kodwa babeyivikela. But he has been a staunch Christian esicela njalo ukulwa nje akaze as-advise indaba yokubulala.
I want, very briefly, we're out of time. I need to get the word from the great-grandson. Are you worried about the future of the IFP after your father?
Oh, we are so devastated. We don't know. We are looking forward. We are just hoping, because he used his wisdom at the conference, because there were camps. We know when there are elections, some want to elect Phumzile, some want to voice Tole. So he decided as an adult, no, President Hlabisa will be a president. He mustn't be contested. Because Mzamo, what kaza, nothing we have left, I can't say just as said. We will remain a deputy president, they mustn't be contested. He tried to be a peace, drama. And we thought really, even now, I still think he chose the right person. President Hlabisa has been a IFP even at a university. It's not a just Johnny come late. My mother used to say Johnny come late. Yes. So we are very grateful. We just hope we'll all do Father's wish to be together and follow behind President Hlabisa, who is so far is a suitable candidate as father chose him.
Thank you very much, Mtwana. Let me just get a quick word from you, great-grandson. How do you know your great-grandfather? How would you remember him? Very briefly.
A lot of memories whenever you think about Mtwana. And as you had said, Mtwana was a very staunch Christian. I remember one of Mtwana's aides, Ujobe, would tell us you would find Mtwana ekuseni every morning before when he wakes up, and pray. Even at his old age, he would always bow down to the Lord and give thanks.
Yeah.
And Mtwana taught us as this family about Christianity. Every Christmas, every New Year's, and he was very strict about inkonzo. I remember one, I think Christmas, I was given the duty of reading the Bible. So when it got to me, before I even could check where I'm reading, and it was like, so it was moments like that where he really made sure we understand the Lord's grace and we give thanks to him. Mtwana was always straightforward with what he would say, but what melumos. Because if you don't catch even a single bit of that conversation, go be I remember he sent me on an errand, and so I get back. I was like, "Manje wenza?" Ndaba ezithi asengikwenzile umntwana bengithume khona. Uthi indaba phosa phethe lokho. Ndaba ezabengazi kanti indlebe ezani. You see, but Mtwana showed us love above all. It was love. His strictness was love. Mtwana did not want you to sway out of indlela eqondile. He would always bring you to the side. Which is why he instilled Christianity on us. I remember also when we were children, you'd always love when Christmas time came around, because there was this box of chocolates about to Quality Street. You always knew but 23, 24. Mtwana would call us to his dining room. There would be boxes, large amounts. Yeah. Each one would get a box. I was so Christmas, and those sweets, like those memories, and challenge. Whenever I see little bogies at Stone, it just brings back those memories of the love Mtwana shared with us as AmaZulu and Zulu and his family at large.
Thank you very much for time. We're out of time. Thank you very much. We are so sorry to trouble you. We know you are busy with funeral arrangements, but we thank you for your time. That was the daughter of the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, as well as the great-grandson, talking to us here at eNCA, reflecting on the life and times of the late departed leader.
Very important questions and conversation there. Siphamandla Goge, our senior reporter. Let's leave it there.